Skinny spazoid. We all know that women want to get married, but we also know just how brutal it is for guys when a divorce happens. The elephant in the room, especially when these people are rich, is of course who gets how much money of what originally belonged to both of them. Because of this, divorces can either be very expensive or very profitable. This is a list of the most expensive divorces in history. This list borders on the insane as it shows how crazy divorce really is, or how crazy it is to get married. Whatever you think about the topic, these numbers are very real. Here are the top 10 most expensive divorces. Number 10, Roman Abramovich and Irina Malandina. This divorce amounted to $300 million. Irina Malandina filed for divorce from Russian business tycoon Roman Abramovich because she suspected an affair. Irina actually filed for half of Roman's fortune, which would have been a staggering $6 billion. But she only got $300 million. Number 9, Robert Johnson and Sheila Crump. This time, the woman ran off with $400 million. Both founders of BET, Robert was actually the first African American billionaire. Number 8, Mel Gibson and Robin Moore. Mel Gibson is, of course, the famous actor. He is known to have outbursts in real life that are pretty crazy. These two were married for 30 years, and the two knew each other before he was famous. The divorce was the largest in Hollywood history, cashing in at $425 million. Number 7, Craig McCaw and Wendy Petrak. Owner of McCaw Cellular, which was later bought by AT&T for $11.5 billion. This marriage also lasted for around 30 years and cost McCaw $460 million. Number 6, Steve Wynn and Elaine Pascal. Mr. Wynn is the owner of Wynn Resorts. This marriage also lasted for decades until their first divorce. They then remarried and stayed married for years again, but divorced a second time. The second divorce led to Elaine getting 11 million shares of Steve's company. These shares are estimated to cost around $741 million. Number 5, Adnan Khashoggi and Soraya Khashoggi. Khashoggi is a Saudi Arabian businessman who married his wife Soraya in 1961 after she converted to Islam. They divorced in 1982 for $850 million. This, adjusted for inflation today, would be around $2 billion. Number 4, Bernie Ecclestone and Slavica Ecclestone. Ecclestone is the CEO of Formula One Racing. He married Slavica, a former model 23 years younger than him. They had 2 kids, however, eventually filed for divorce. Slavica ended up getting 740 million euros, which is about $1.2 billion. Number 3, Rupert Murdoch and Maria Torv. Business mogul Rupert Murdoch divorced his wife Maria Torv after 32 years of marriage. Torv departed with $1.3 billion, 110 million of the money was in cash. And this is really interesting because our number 2 entry is actually also Rupert Murdoch. So somebody out there, give Mr. Murdoch a hug. Number 2, Rupert Murdoch and Wendy Deng. Again, we have Rupert Murdoch, this time with an even more costly divorce. Somebody should tell Rupert that women don't have to be this expensive. Murdoch married Deng 40 years his younger, 17 days after his divorce with Maria Torv. Deng and Murdoch were married for 13 years, but ended up getting divorced. Deng left the marriage with 1.8 billion. Number 1, Alec Whittlestein and Jocelyn Parise. Inheriting billions from a famous art-dealing family, Alec Whittlestein managed to lose a cold $2.5 billion after Jocelyn Parise walked in on him with his 19-year-old lover. After 13 years of marriage, the courts ordered that she not only receive the $2.5 billion, but also a yearly annual of $100 million. And as this was issued in 1997, her total earnings amount to more than the $2.5 billion she was originally dealt. Alec Whittlestein is probably one of the most lucky people in life, inheriting all this money, but he also seems to me to be one of the most stupid people. And when you hear about these robber barons who had gotten all this money from just their capitalistic enterprises in America, and how much they didn't want their kids to inherit their fortune, this is probably what they were imagining, so. But hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She took all of that. I think that amounted to, at this point, probably more than half of his fortune that he had. So, yeah.